We'll start DG with NC State heading out west to Berkeley. The 3-4 Wolfpack at 3-3 Cal, 3:30 Eastern on Saturday on ACC Network. The Bears open up as a 9-point home favorite.
Yeah, the big picture and then the nitty-gritty on this one. First, this is a matchup between two head coaches who have been at their schools for quite a long time now and currently are facing significant criticism from their own fan bases. Neither has won a conference game yet this season. Justin Wilcox is in year 8 at Cal, and he's under pressure for a lot of reasons, but he's never had a single winning record in conference play in those previous 7 years. He's never had more than 8 wins in a single season, and now, of course, he's off to an 0-3 start here as a member of the ACC. Although all 3 of those losses by the Bears at Florida State, at home against Miami on that college game day experience in Berkeley, and then most recently at an undefeated Pitt team, those were all by very slim margins. We all know better the NC State story. Dave Doran, of course, is in year 12 with the Wolfpack. He's under pressure because despite leading the pack to 9 bowl invitations in the last 10 years and becoming the winningest football coach in NC State history, he has never posted a 10-win season. He still has a losing record in conference play during his lengthy tenure in Raleigh. And now he is off to that 0-3 start in the ACC this year with those defeats to Clemson, Wake Forest, and Syracuse, the latter 2 league losses coming at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. Meanwhile, according to ESPN's analytics, NC State right now is the worst offensive team in the ACC and the 3rd worst defensive team in the ACC, ahead of only UNC and Wake Forest on the defensive side. And this sometimes, of course, the combination has made the Wolfpack particularly hard to watch at times. In terms of the nitty-gritty matchup, the biggest difference in these teams so far this year is that Cal has found at least one thing that it does really well most weeks, and that is play high-level defense. The Bears are giving up only 17.8 points per game, which ranks 3rd in the ACC, and they've also posted 13 interceptions, which is actually tied for the most in the entire country right now. Cal plays that unusual 2-4-5 defense. Essentially, it's 2 tackles, 4 linebackers, 5 D-backs, and the Bears really like those 2 inside linebackers a lot. A guy named Teddy Buchanan, who's a 5th-year senior transfer who played the past 4 years at the FCS level. And then they have a sophomore named Cade Ulawave, who was the Pac-12's defensive freshman of the year last season. And meanwhile, NC State has not found that one thing that the Wolfpack can hang its hat on, at least not yet, thanks in part to the repeated injuries to the starting quarterback, Grayson McCall, thanks in part to linebacker Peyton Wilson now doing his thing in the NFL. He's actually going to be honored at Carter Finley later this year. They just announced at State. And in part, and maybe most importantly, because the Pack simply hasn't been very good this year at the line of scrimmage. That has been Dave Doran's positive trademark, or at least among them over his decade plus at State. In ACC play right now, State and Carolina are the only 2 teams giving up more than 5 yards per rushing attempt, and you just cannot win consistently in football when that happens. This is Cal's homecoming game, which maybe adds some fuel to the Wolfpack's fire. Nobody likes to be the homecoming opponent, although it is fair to wonder, Chris, how does the Pack in this new look Atlantic Coast Conference, and a team, remember, that has not had an open week yet this season, how does this Pack respond to a 2,400-mile trip to the West Coast? The Bears have a solid, if unspectacular, veteran quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. He's 3rd in the ACC with almost 300 passing yards per game, whereas the Wolfpack, of course, probably is going to have to rely on the true freshman C.J. Bailey again against that confident Cal defense. One of these teams will be the first to drop to 0-4 in ACC play this season, and from a quick glance, that team seems most likely to be the Wolfpack.